What's up, YouTube? So today I'm going to continue on with this BMW. I want to take whatever I need to apart to try and find out what the problem is. I'm ready to dig down, take the head off if I need to. I've done a little research, and to get this thing back together, there's an alignment kit for the timing, and I'm going to need it in order to get this thing back together. So if that's the case, then it's going to take that much more time to actually order the kit and get it here. So I've left a message with the owner. That's what I kind of need to do to get this thing back together. I can't have it apart in my garage for too long. I've got other stuff to do, and pushing the car all the way out of my driveway and back in by myself is not very easy, so I at least need him to come by and help me. But anyway, we're going to dig into it and start by taking off the valve cover and see if we got any broken valve springs or if there's any signs of a valve train problem. So yeah, I've had a really good look at number 4. This is the intake cam. I don't see any issues. The springs are in good shape. I don't see them broken. The valves appear from this side to be seating. So yeah, apart from that, I'm just hoping I got all the tools that I need to actually get this thing apart. You see a lot of E-Torx, Torx head bolts. And I've kind of gone through everything. I think I have everything except for what I need to reset this timing. because there's a bracket that actually bolts onto the head here and allows you to sync the cam phasers. That valve cover's a lot tighter in there than I thought. Very little room in here to get it actually up and out of there. You only get so much movement, you almost got to take that guy off. So yeah, pretty tight coming out, and now I'm starting to realize, like, I got quite the job ahead of me here. Okay, so I've managed to get quite a bit apart already. All the wiring's basically off of the cylinder head for the most part, and I got the fan assembly out and all the coolant's drained. So now I'm gonna pretty much start pushing forward onto the intake manifold and get it out of there. The exhaust is gonna be a little bit of a challenge, I can already tell. So I'm gonna let all the hardware soak in some penetrating fluid. This video is obviously quite a few time lapses, but I want to show as much as possible so that if someone's getting hung up or they're unsure about something, at least they might be able to catch it within the time lapse of what they need to do. So you're getting the intake off. I mean, there's going to be some power steering stuff that's got to come out of the way, and obviously lots of wiring. I think those emission hoses are attached at the back there, and we'll probably have to get this fuel disconnected. Might actually have to get the rail off before the intake, I don't know. But I'll start digging into it and see what happens. So I've got the intake manifold out. One thing, like my procedure didn't actually tell me to take off the throttle body, and so I was having trouble getting this line off, and I just took the throttle body off so I could. It's just the I think it's the evaporative emissions line, purge line, and a couple other wires underneath of it. Bracket for the fuel rail. Just left the fuel rail connected to the fuel line. And so I've come over to this side, and I've started to I've gotten rid of a couple little brackets that will hold the wiring for the O2 sensors. I've tried to put some penetrating fluid on all the studs for the manifolds, but I could already tell it's not going to be easy getting those. But that's where I'm at right now. And basically when the manifolds come off, I get to try and play with some of the timing to get that apart, and the head will be off after that. Okay, so now that I get the manifolds are all pretty much loosened up, I was able to actually pull them back quite a bit. I think that I'm going to be able to get the head out of there without having to drop the manifolds off. Down in here, so just below the starter, there's a little plastic plug, and if you pull that out, that's where you can put a little keyway for getting in. If you have this timing alignment toolkit, you'll get a little, it's just like a little stud that goes in there so that when you get the engine to top dead center, it prevents the crankshaft from turning anymore. I know I have the engine at top dead center. Unfortunately, there's no real timing marks. That's why you need this alignment kit. It's so important. But I can see my pistons at top dead center. I know how the tool goes onto the camshafts to lock them up, and I realize it has to drop down onto them both straight, like most other engines that I've done. So they're actually 20 millimeter across. So if you have 20 millimeter wrench, it'll drop down right on the intake camshaft. Getting onto the exhaust camshaft, you can see it's a pretty tight space. But can you get a wrench in there? Well, if you basically take a 20 mil wrench, so like I got a 22 for example, but if you just grind off the side of that and kind of flatten it off a little bit more, and maybe take a millimeter off this side, if you just take a little bit off that wrench, it'll be skinny enough that it will drop down onto that camshaft so that you can hold it when you're releasing these phasers. So that's what I intend to do, and once I pretty much get those apart and the timing chains loosen off, I'll be ready to try and start cracking head bolts. There's one head bolt that's being blocked by this thing right here, and I'm not quite sure how to get it out yet. I can't find anything in any of the manual or procedure, so I gotta think about how that's coming off. But all the other head bolts look rather accessible, and they're very large torques. There's T60s for the large ones and T55s for the smaller ones. Plus we got some smaller, there's one external one here and a couple underneath this bridge, I think. So time lapse time. So as you saw, I lifted that thing out by myself. I don't recommend that. You should have a second person, because not only can you hurt yourself, but you can damage someone's car. These timing guides are just plastic. I mean, imagine you could just snap one off just like that and it would be broken. They actually want you to mount this special tool, which is a handle that mounts to the top of the cylinder head, so you have something to pull on. And so I just rigged up a piece of chain and yeah, if you like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for me. Leave your questions and comments further down below, and I'll see you in the next one.